Minnesota. So when you hear Minnesota, you just hyped that you got picked first.
I was just like, I'm ready to hoop.
Anthony Edwards, the X-Man, 62.
What a move for
Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves.
Hanging, scoring, plus the foul.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Boardroom's Out of Office. My name is Rich Kleiman, and today I am here with NBA All-Star, NBA Superstar Anthony Edwards and his partner and business manager Justin Holland. Welcome to the Boardroom, fellas.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Long time coming, man. We've been talking about this for a while, and this is like unique and special for me because, you know, for me, my relationship with Kevin and our partnership has been an incredible 12-year run, and I think it was the chemistry and just the way we complement each other that's been so special. And I, from speaking to Justin, have realized that you guys have so many of those similar elements. You both grew up in Atlanta, right?
Yep.
I read that it wasn't all basketball growing up, right? You played a handful of sports.
Yep.
And then you locked in on hoop around the 8th grade. Was that around the same time you guys met?
Yeah, like 8th, 9th grade, yeah.
For me, it's I remember I met KD his rookie year through a mutual friend of ours. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but just like any relationship or any partnership, looking back on it, I realized that the chemistry was clearly there the first time we met. And I think any special business partnership, just like any special relationship, there's just something there.
Yeah, it's I guess our relationship when we first met, I didn't know where it would end up.
Yeah.
But it didn't take very long to realize that we definitely had a bond.
And what was that kind of connection like? How did you even approach him on being the guy that would kind of mold his basketball career? And you were an ex-hooper as well.
Yeah. So I was actually working for the city of College Park back then, and I was training multiple kids. I had some high major guys, a couple of guys that were McDonald's All-Americans, and his uncle brought him to me, and when he brought him to me, he was pretty much just looking for somebody to work him out and just be a mentor to him and just kind of guide him and lead him in the right direction. That's kind of where the relationship started.
And when you picked up hoop in the 8th grade, was did you automatically connect with the sport on a different level? It was different than when you played baseball and football?
I mean, just playing against my older brothers made me start loving the game. I think before 8th grade, I was already in love with the game, but after 8th grade, I think it kind of grew on me.
And did you realize you was different when you first started playing?
Nah, not when I first started playing, because I was good at football.
You were?
Yeah.
I was just throwing the rock around the office. That's why I'm fucking drenched right now. What was your experience playing ball? You played in college as well?
Yeah, so I played at Liberty University in Virginia.
Did you even think of yourself as a trainer?
So I was working around the sport. I ran youth sports in College Park. A lot of people know me for playing basketball around the city of Atlanta. So, people just kept asking me to train, man. You should train. And one day I was just like, let me try it out. There was a couple of good kids around the gym, and I just kind of started doing it naturally. And then, I found out that was my way, to stay around the game. And, my passion was always basketball. So that was my way to, stay in touch with the game and impact the younger kids the way that my coaches did for me when I was coming up.
And then you stayed and went to Georgia. Was that, at the time, I assume you was being recruited by everybody in the country, right?
Yeah.
And what was that for you to stay home? What was the kind of reason behind that?
It was right up the street. My sister was she was about to have her baby, my nephew, so I didn't want her trying to get on the plane and all that, so she can just hop in the car and drive 45 minutes and be there.
Yeah. Did you feel like you was going for a year?
Did I feel like we're going to school for a year?
Yeah, did you know it was one and done heading into it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that was a plan.
That was the plan, right?
Yeah.
And how involved early on, for you as a trainer, looking at your guys' career together now, where you sit, did you have longer term goals in terms of when you guys connected, what this relationship would be? Did you envision where you guys were at now? Or when he went to Georgia and you were helping out with the basketball side of things, was that always kind of what the relationship was meant to be at first?
Well, I think, I think when we first met, I don't think either one of us saw where he is today. I don't think we saw that that wasn't the case when you came in.
It was just my uncle brought me to Justin. We was working out. After the first workout, I was like, man, I ain't trying to work out with Buddy again. I'm cool. Because I was tired. I was super tired, and I never really worked out for basketball. That was my first time actually working out for basketball. I was in the 9th grade. And I hit him up and was like, bro, I'm trying to come back up there. And then my uncle took me again, and then we ended up exchanging numbers, and I kept going. Then we got cooler and cooler, you know what I'm saying? Because basketball, you bond. So I mean, that's kind of how it happened. And then we just got super cool. Then shit,
I
we
get
here
it.
now.
Yeah, I get it. And then the core of the relationship was hoop. And I got to be honest, like it's similar to with KD and I, because the first 4 or 5 years I was still in music, and that's what we talked about, hoop and music. You know what I'm saying? I think when you develop that rapport at first and that trust, it makes it easier to transition into the business side of things. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
So when you left Georgia, I remember watching your pro day on ESPN, and I had known about you a bit, right? I keep up with hoop, but I was watching your pro day, and you were interviewed right afterwards. And I just knew. I knew you was one of them ones. From the way you were interviewed, you had this like different composure for someone your age, the way you were talking to the announcer, right? And the pro day was a thing, but the way you kind of approached and the way you responded to him, you had a different perspective on it. Did you notice that there was this like level of kind of calm about you? Like, do you pay attention to that side of you? Because for me, who's been around greatness in basketball, greatness in the music game, like I talk about my experiences with Jay-Z, the thing about him that I always marvel at is like he just stays at this pace. He just walks at this pace. He moves at this pace. And you have so many of those elements. And even when you think about like MJ talking about when he got to that next level as he saw the game in slow motion, but it feels like inherently you have that. Is that something that you're focused on in any way, or is it just who you are?
I don't even see it. I guess it's just who I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to think about him.
I just be being me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an old soul. Like I always refer to him as a throwback kid. Me and the other coaches around, like, has always been a throwback kid. You know, I used to train a lot of kids, and everybody was always focused on training. He's one of the few kids that would. I think one day he called like, "Coach, I'm gonna be late to workout," but he's like, "Cause I'm about to jump in his adult league game." Like, kids don't play games like that, but and this is why he was a high schooler and nobody asked him to do it. This was just something that he was doing on his own because he loved to play the sport.
Yeah. Do you think it has a lot to do, you know, in reading a bit about you, you went through a lot as a kid, right? And I can relate, not at the level that of some of the things you had to deal with, but when you have to be confronted with shit as a kid, you have no other choice but to get through it. And that's kind of starts to become the DNA of who you are. Do you think that kind of experience as a child and what you had to go through a bit
Probably made me what I am today. Like the stuff you see that I don't really see, that just I call just being me. That's probably what molded me today.
You know what I'm talking about, that interview after his pro day?
Of course, I was there.
Yeah.
I feel like because I'm not just a great player on the court, I'm a great person off the court. I'm always smiling, I'm always encouraging my teammates, and I'm always cracking jokes, and I just want to have fun. So I think people are going to love me for who I am and not just me a
Because I
basketball.
paid close attention to it, because it was like you could have really got caught up in the moment, but you didn't. So you get drafted first by Minnesota. Did you know going into draft day you were going first?
I know I should have went first, and I eventually did later on in the day. But yeah, pretty much, because they was talking pretty highly of me. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely. So you knew you was the number one player in the draft, but it wasn't until game day that T-Wolves gave you that call.
Sure.
Right.
And what, had you ever been to Minnesota at that point?
Yeah, never even heard of Minnesota for real before that.
For real?
Yeah.
Did you imagine yourself moving to Minnesota with him? That was always the plan?
Oh yeah, you know, my thing is this industry is a wicked industry. So, you know, for my role, it's always just I want to make sure that he's protected, not taken advantage of, and that he's always good. So, you know, wherever he was going, I was going to make sure I was going to be there.
Yeah. Minnesota. So when you hear Minnesota, are you hyped that you got picked first, or are you already thinking like, what's Minnesota? Who am I playing with? Or are you in the moment when you first get picked?
That's a good question. I can't even remember what I was thinking. I was just like, I'm ready to hoop. Yeah, I think that was the main thing. I'm ready to hoop. Like, I knew who I was playing with, Cat and D-Lo. Yeah, and pretty much I was just ready to go up there and hoop.
Is that like, you know, for Kevin, throughout his career and throughout like the last 11 years we worked together, and it's why some people don't understand some of the decisions he makes in terms of teams, he really does base everything on hoop. And then the things that have to be dealt with outside of it have to be secondary. Is that your fallback for everything, no matter what you're going through, if you know you get laser focused on the game?
Basketball, yeah, that's it. That's all I want to focus on is basketball.
You love it.
Yeah, I don't want to do nothing else. I'll be telling him, like, hey, bro, leave me alone.
I feel you.
I don't want to do nothing. He be texting me about, like, deals and, bro, I want to hoop.
Yep.
I just want to hoop.
Well, the beautiful thing is the more you hoop, the way you've been hooping, the more deals that he'll be seeing.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But there's actually, like, I've had to encounter similar
Right, we get it.
things because it's similar to Kevin. And earlier in his career, I think he found himself doing certain things he may not have necessarily wanted to do. And then you realize you get to a point where you are like, shit, I don't even really have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just built into what you thought the system was. And the game has changed a bit. So you guys are walking into the league now where you could build a business without you having to do anything else but hoop, right? It's about the things that you love, the things you want to learn about. So, you know, for you guys, the first 2 years in Minnesota, well, the first year in Minnesota, you struggled. The last 2 years, you guys were knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. When you go into the summer like this, right, and your name is starting to get bigger, you're about to play in the World Cup, what do you do when you go out into the world now knowing that Ant, you know, isn't really trying to do anything else but hoop, but you also know that you're starting to build something for the rest of your life? And even though you have to have this, like, level of patience in building it, I do think the great ones start to, like, see it in the future, right, and start to plot out, right? So when we left, when Kevin left Oklahoma City to go to the Bay and we went on our own, it was slowly building. It was slowly building, but there was a vision, like, longer term of what we had. So for you, how is that balance and knowing that you want to build something, but you're also, like, his brother first, you work on the game, and he wants to focus on hoop?
Well, I think my first thing is, like, finding that balance, right? Like, me understanding who he is, me knowing who he is, but also realizing his age at 22. Was I thinking the same way I was at 36, where I am now? No. So I'm always planning for life after basketball for him, whether he realizes that or not. So, you know, at 22, we can start, you know, thinking business, and it doesn't have to be to the extreme, but if we're, you know, starting to think outside of basketball at his age, at 25, 26, 27, he should have his own businesses, and they should be running themselves by the time he gets ready to retire. So that's always been my mindset for him.
It must be crazy to hear life after basketball at 22.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
What kind of pressure do you put on yourself? Like, when I know you probably, you know you're 22, you know that it's a process, but you also know that you've already got to this level. So when you get to that level, you're like, nah, forget the process. Like, I'm trying to win right now.
Right.
What was the kind of feeling going into this summer? Like, I'm not trying to get knocked out in the first round again. What are we doing?
I think that's a good question. I think it's just, you gotta be patient. Like, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win every game. You ain't gonna win a championship every year. You just got to get better and better and better. Like,
yeah.
And eventually you're gonna start to feel like, okay, like, I think we're getting close. So, like, we're just trying to find ways to get better, and we're not really worried about getting knocked out last year. We try and find ways to go further this year, and however it happened, it will happen.
See, he has a different perspective, bro. It's like that's a grown man perspective. Because if you look at Denver, for instance, right? Like, I think it was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people to see a team that stuck with it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, had this superstar at the center of the galaxy, everybody playing their roles. And you got another star in Jamal, but they went through it, and they went through it.
Got better and better and better.
Figured it out. Yeah.
There's definitely less, well, I don't want to say this because I've never really spent time in Minnesota, but I would imagine there's a level of patience from the fan base there, right? Different than maybe if he was playing in New York or LA.
Yeah, for sure, because they've won before, and you know, the Minnesota fans, they looking forward to something. So, and we're looking to give them something. So, we're gonna keep getting better.
And how much work do you still do on his game outside of?
His ass don't do nothing.
You don't do
Yeah,
shit?
I'm done now. I'm done.
You done?
Yeah, because I can't balance it all. Like, we got to the point, like, he's
Nah, it's
still
cool though. Yeah, he do his thing. We'll be good.
He can't balance it all, and he's like, I get it now. I'm good.
Yeah, we have, and we got good people around him. You know, between Chris Hines, between Kier Jordan, like, these are guys that I entrust with helping him develop his game to the next level. So, you know, I'm still close. You know, the second I don't feel like he's getting better, I might have to go strap my shoes back up. But he's been getting better every single year. So, you know, you do your job, I do my job.
What about after, like, a bad game or a bad loss?
Yeah, we talk. Yeah, we definitely talk. We talk after every game. Good game, bad game, however it go.
If it's real bad, we're both frustrated, so we'll
talk.
we
might not talk after like a real bad game.
Do you take it home with you too?
Oh, no question.
Yeah,
That's the partnership.
Yeah, I'm invested.
Yeah,
That's what's special. That's like the first time I sat with Justin, I realized it's just the way he was talking about your guys' relationship. You know, I felt like there was so many similarities because, you know, you have that friendship first and you're building something together, but you also know how sacred the game is for him. So, like, you have a respect for that relationship he has with ball. Like, everything that you're doing basketball took you there. And you have to have that like level of appreciation for that in order to be able to balance the business and the basketball.
Yeah, and to find that balance, like I said, I know him. So if I feel like business is getting in the way of basketball, business is getting scaled back.
Yeah.
Like I never want to put him in a position to where he's thinking more about business than basketball. Basketball, that's the main thing. And the luxury that I do have with him, the last thing I have to worry about is if he's getting in the gym.
Yeah.
He's upstairs taking pictures like, man, I got to go over to the NBPA to get some shots up because he's a basketball player first.
When you were overseas this summer, were you working out every off day?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You go like that?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I used to manage, like I came from music where I was managing at the time like Meek Mill and Wale and working with J. Cole. And like, I understood what work ethic was, but it was different. It was like late nights at the studio and it was just a different energy. I remember the first time I took a trip with KD, Nike trip, we flew like 18 hours to China. We go through customs and we're heading towards a hotel, I think. And I lean over to the trainer that was with us. I'm like, where are we going? He's like, dude wants to get some shots up. And I'm like, this is just a whole different level of commitment and focus.
I got mine from my brother, though. Shout out to Bub. That's where I got my work ethic from, for sure.
How far did he take his hoop career?
Not far at all. But shout out to him because I wouldn't be right here without him. Yeah, that's who I got my work ethic from.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So this summer, like when you go into the summer, do you think about how you want to refine your game, like what you want to add to the repertoire?
Yeah, for sure. Like closing out games, teams, they want to they probably gonna double team me or try to get the ball out of my hands. So me and my trainers, we talk to find ways to get the ball and go quicker, score faster. So just playing in the mid-range area, catching it in the low post area, just, things like that. So yeah, that was kind of what we focused on. Plus the tray ball and everything else, but that was like the focus this summer, like being able to create a shot quick in the mid-range.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
He's smiling when he's talking about ball.
Man, let me tell you about this work ethic, man. Like, it was a point when he was in high school, we would work out 7 days a week, like religiously, 7 days a week, 7 days a week. And if we didn't work out 7 days because it's AAU season, we got a tournament Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes we would get back home from out of town on Sunday from a tournament, and he'll say, let's get some more shots up. Like, he pushed me, like, for at that time, a 16-year-old to push you to get better. Because I'm like, man, my wife's at home with my son, my newborn child.
Right.
But, how can
Shout
I
out
tell
to his wife, though. Shout out to his wife. Shout out to Janine. Shout out to Janine.
You holding it down for him.
Shout out to Janine.
I
Shout
get
out
it.
to Janine.
It's a grind.
She's a real one. We used to be in that bed 12 a.m.
Seriously.
She calling like, babe, you good? He like, yeah, man. I'm finna drop Ann off at the crib.
We in the lab.
We in the lab.
For sure.
Yep.
What about the World Cup? Was that an incredible experience this summer?
Yeah, for sure. That was dope. That was super fun.
And how disappointing for you was it?
It was crazy, man, because we had just beat Germany in Abu Dhabi. So, and we knew they was coming because like they was up 16 that game in Abu Dhabi. So we knew they was coming, but I didn't think we was gonna lose to them for sure. And they came out and played a hell of a game. So shout out to them. I wouldn't even say it was disappointing because of how good they played. So like they deserved it. So.
But how badly you want to play next year?
I want to play for sure. Yeah, I gotta get my get back for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine it's staying with you.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
How was Coach Kerr?
He was dope. All of them. Coach Kerr, T. Lou, and Coach Sporcher. They was the best.
Yeah, that's a nice mob right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then going into this year and like getting back in that mindset, do you go into this season now? You made the All-Star game, you played in the World Cup, and it's like, nah, I'm trying to be like the guy now in the league. Yeah,
for sure. Cause that All-Star game didn't count. It was like somebody got hurt and then they picked me. Like I was the fallback guy. So yeah, that was.
Some people don't take it that way.
That
but
was
I could
terrible.
imagine
That
you
was
take
all
it that way.
bad. That was all bad. Like people, I don't even like when people call me an All-Star because I really didn't make it. But yeah, it's definitely some up this year though.
So and when you're out there, do you ever still like take a look across, see LeBron, see KD, see Steph, and be like, what the fuck, man? Like, even as good as you are and as quickly as the success came, is it still one of those things?
I think my first year was, and then my second year, like, I think when we played against the Lakers, just everybody, like, recording LeBron. I'm like, man, I'm really playing against LeBron. And then my brother's a rapper. So he raps about a lot of things. And then we was in Dallas, and we was playing against Kyrie. And he got a song like, I'm in Dallas watching my brother play against Kyrie. Who would have thought this was, you know what I'm saying? So, like, and then, like, KD, my he was like my favorite player. So playing against him was always crazy. It's still crazy to this day. But yeah, it's a dream come true for sure.
Do you feel like, can you see that you and KD have some similarities maybe in your approach? And
Yeah, for sure. He just all basketball. I just love the way he work out. Like he don't care about nothing. He just want to hoop. So
Yeah.
that's why I fuck with him.
And the thing is like there's a good way, and we talked about this. You can like just want to hoop and still love the shit off the game, off the court,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to affect it. And I think like it's a process, right? And for Kevin, it was a bit of an education and learning and trying things. And like early in his career, he was in a movie, like you were in a movie, and then he was like, "All right, I'm not acting anymore."
Yeah.
But he
Same,
did it.
Same here.
Yeah, like you don't want to do it again.
Yeah, no, not while I'm playing.
But you were good.
Yeah, but not while I'm playing. I couldn't. That was the first time where I felt like I wasn't working out basketball wise. Like I couldn't work on my game because like we had days where I would report at like 7 a.m. and I won't leave till 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So like, and I'm dog tired because like we shooting, I'm on my feet, I'm sitting down, I'm back on my feet. So it was crazy, but it was shout out to Adam. I appreciate him for having me.
Yeah,
But,
he can hoop a little bit too, right?
nah, he can't hoop.
See, anyone else would have said, yeah, he's all right, he could pass the rock, but you ask like a real hooper.
Yeah, he not gonna
Nah,
get it
he
to him.
can't hoop. Nah, that's my dog though. But he can't hoop.
So you're done acting.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
But you understand, like for you, it's probably like, all right, you check that box, you
Yeah,
saw
for
what
sure.
that was like, you
For
know
sure.
that like that's something he experienced. You can get back to another point in your career, and I do think that's how you start to form the right business for yourself, is to
Yep.
start trying these things out. Is it overwhelming sometimes, as much as you try to balance it? Just seeing, because you grew up on social media, like you're one of the first generations that grew up. Like you had overtime clips in 9th, 10th grade, and you're seeing LeBron's producing movies, KD's investing in companies, and it starts to become a bit of the language of ball, right? Like I'm amazed sometimes at how like focused and well-rounded and business-minded a lot of young athletes are, way ahead of where I was at 19, 20 years old. But can that be overwhelming for you? Do you feel like you do have a good understanding of like where that's going to be, and that Justin's got that under control?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't get into any of that.
You really don't?
No, at all. I tell him, hey, bro, leave me alone. If it ain't about basketball, don't call me or text. I don't want to hear about none of that other stuff. Just
Your job's tough, brother.
Oh, I got a tough job.
oh, he got the hardest job in the world.
I got a tough job.
Because I won't answer the phone. I won't respond to your messages.
Shit, you sound just like my man.
Yeah, I ain't doing none of that.
You have to like get to a certain place to not take it personally when you don't get the response, right?
Oh, I know him, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
he
bother
know
me.
me,
I know
yeah.
how to get in touch with him when I need him.
You know, it's funny.
He'll call my girl. They
Exactly.
all call my girl now because they know I'm with her. Yeah.
And if that don't work, I'll just pull up, you know.
And you've probably learned how to translate, like, all right, he read it, he got it, no response means nah, he ain't fucking with it, and you know how to like read the silence. I bet.
Yeah, and now it's also like I tell him, like I don't bother you unless it matters. Like,
Yeah.
So if it matters, I'll reach out to you. If not, I'm telling them no before I even ask you. I've said 50 no's before I even brought something to you.
Yeah.
You know, so I think he understands that.
But that's cool because it's like management is 99% doing things that don't have a return, right? Like it's not about making money. It's about making sure that your life is good, that the balance in your partnership is good, that all the things that you would have to worry about if he wasn't in your life, you don't have to worry about.
Right.
And that's part of building a business.
Right.
All right, so understanding that you've put a lot of these things to the side, I would imagine that there's still a level of like cosign that you got to give for some of the things you put in motion, right? So I would imagine you're ecstatic about your signature shoe deal with Adidas, right? You must give a
Yeah.
little space for that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got to. Yeah,
That's
like,
hoop though, basically.
It ain't hoop, but it's close to it. I mean, I gotta wear them on the court.
Yeah.
That's like a dream. That's something that I never seen. Like I never visioned that. So yeah, I gotta put time into that.
And what can we expect from the shoe line?
I mean, just they're gonna be nice. I feel like they're gonna be the hardest basketball shoes out to ever be released for sure.
We can put that on the table right now. That's it's a nice. It's the AE1 right here.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so
The wave.
And how
wave,
involved were
yeah.
you with this process?
I'm super. I'm in it. I'm all in.
You're in it.
Cause I want people to like my shoe, man. I don't want them to make shoes that just people might want to hoop it. Nah, I want to make shoes that I know people gonna wear.
You don't want a signature shoe just to have a signature shoe.
Yeah, because I know when I was a kid, I would go in and be like, oh, them his shoes? Nah, they don't. Nah, I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can remember being a little kid doing that. So with my shoes, I'm putting myself back 12 years ago. Hey, I want them.
Yep.
Yeah, them hard.
And that's like, it's similar again for us. It's like you can do a handful of other things. You'll build companies and you'll invest, but you get it right with the shoe game, and you got a partner for life.
Yeah.
No question. And I feel like Adidas did a great job of just
for sure.
really listening and really collabing with Anthony on, the design of the shoe.
Just asking. They
everything.
nonstop. They text and asking like what he think about this. And do he got any ideas? And when I send him ideas, they put it in the
implement
shoe.
them.
Yeah, it's like
And what about from a tech standpoint, like the innovation of the shoe is molded to your game?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's what's up. And colorways, are we expecting a ton?
Got a few coming.
Yeah.
You got the Holland.
Yeah, we're gonna have some though. We're gonna have some justice. Some the crazy thing about it was, so knowing you and KD cool. My first time seeing like somebody do a shoe pertaining to someone in their family was KD.
Yeah, the Aunt Pearl.
The Aunt Pearl. And when I saw him do that, I remember telling my brother, like, bro, if I get a shoe one day, like, I'm gonna make shoes for everybody that I love and mess with. So like, yeah, Justin gonna have his own shoe. Everybody that I love gonna have their own shoe.
Bro.
That's gonna be hard.
It is funny. This year we have one for his grandmother who just passed. We got one for his mother and his aunt.
Yeah, so that's who inspired me to make shoes. Like my first shoe is gonna be dedicated to my mother and my grandmother, but I wouldn't even thought about that if it wasn't for KD.
That's
So
dope, man.
yeah.
That's dope. A lot of synergies, bro.
A lot of synergy. I don't know if did you see the first couple of waves? It's called the With Love. So it's actually his mom and grandmother's favorite colors.
Yeah.
That's why that was the
And I
inspiration.
got
for the
that
shoe.
from Kate. I got
Fire.
that boy.
And then 3/5 Media.
Yeah. That's our production company that we're launching. We've been working. We're putting together shows.
Shout out to Trey, man.
Yeah, Trey's our other business partner when it comes to the media company. Trey's been filming them since he was 16. So
Shout
so
out to
going
Trey.
back to where we thinking business. We were thinking business at 16 because once we saw the light switch cut on.
They was. I mean, they was.
I'm starting to think that's the company line. I'm only hoop, but you got one eye in business.
Yeah,
too,
I got
bro.
one eye open.
I already know.
Yeah.
That's my line too. I just work here.
Yeah. I got one eye open.
And you guys, when you switched to WME, I thought that was interesting because it allowed you guys probably the freedom to learn all the different aspects of that business and to start to build out what you're doing and to build out your infrastructure. What's some of the goals for you guys, right? And knowing that Ant's got time right now for just hoop, what's some of the goals for you over the next few years?
I think our goals were when we made that switch, it was really just so we can carve out our own lane and our own space in this industry. Seeing you guys and what you guys did, and of course, with Mav and Brun, the things that you guys done, we want to, we have a lot more runway, so we're just trying to start that earlier and sooner. With our production company, with building out businesses, with doing equity deals, we want to build out an entire portfolio that's going to make sure young fellas sit outside of the court.
Yep.
Of course, he's going to do what he's going to do on the court. He just signed a huge deal this summer. Yeah, congratulations to that. That's not easy.
That's more business right there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, even though it annoys him when the business comes, but yeah. But we plan on definitely putting our imprint in the production space. Filming this past weekend with Adidas. We've done work with Showtime Basketball already. So we just be looking out for us because we're open for business. So you'll see.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, it's amazing for me to see what the two of you guys are starting to build. It's crazy. It's eerily reminiscent. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing Ant speak and understanding this dynamic between the two of you guys, it's special. And I think, for me, I've always been fascinated by these partnerships. It's like Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine and so many of these like business people that I've looked up to. It's always this incredible partnership between this like superstar talent and somebody that has the right chemistry to connect with them. And it's invaluable. And the relationship you guys have is at the center of it, and you'll be able to do whatever you want. So, it's been incredible for us to have you guys on the show. I'm excited to keep building with y'all. I already know Ant wants to talk more business than he's leading on, so I'm gonna hit you about some business shit. And good luck this year, bro.
Nah, I appreciate that. But Justin, my dog, for sure.
Yeah, no, I know. I already know.
That's my dog.
All right, fellas. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon. I'm rooting for you. Unless you're in
Appreciate that.
Phoenix, and I'm going at y'all. You know what I'm saying?
We going at y'all
Yeah,
too.
we go-
I already
Coming
know.
back.
I already know. Thank you for tuning into the Boardroom. Justin Holland, Anthony Edwards. I won't say all-star because he ain't ready till he makes it the right way.
For sure.
See y'all soon. Download. Go to boardroom.tv. Peace.